In less than a week, 22 people were murdered in 4 mass shootings in the Eastern and Western Cape, 14 of them killed in just one night. The motive for these massacres have not yet been determined. Sporadic mass murder incidents are usually related to rival criminal groups taking each other out to protect their interests. Taxi hits related to roots, political killings, retribution, gangsterism and turf wars. To find out if South Africa is in the starting phases of becoming a mass murder capital, we're joined by Kevin Rafadi, forensic investigator and crime expert at Biz Traces. Thank you very much, Mr. Rafadi, for availing yourself this afternoon. The thought of it alone, that we are becoming or on the verge of becoming a crime capital, is quite scary. What factors are considered in coming to such a conclusion or a determination?
Look, thanks for the invite, Judu. Like we said before, this is more like a cult, and this particular type of people, the killings, the mass killings, the shooting, well, it's gang-related, gangs fighting for thefts, or they either belong in certain cults, like your satanism. So the police need to up their game, and we blame visible policing. We blame our crime intelligence to as far as the state security, because they've got a division called domestic branch. Now, what does their intel tell them? Because we are dealing with organized crime here. And once you deal with organized crime, these things, they are planned prior, and they should be having a data on who are the perpetrators that are committing these particular crimes, and to even apprehend them. But, sometimes you get the police, they will tell you that even in some areas in Eastern Cape or even in KZN, their bakkies cannot go and patrol there or even raid because the roads are bad. But something needs to be done. These guns, they need to be taken off the streets because there are so many in the streets.
You take a look at Statista. So they rank the most dangerous cities in the world, and this was for 2022, by murder rate per 100,000 inhabitants. Mexico is number 1, the city of Tijuana. And then you've got South Africa way down there. So we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's the city of Cape Town being listed in this ranking of murder capitals in the world. And so when we hone in on provinces as well, what do you perceive needs to be done? Because we know the issues of the Western Cape, in particular the Cape Flats and so on.
Look, it shows that in the country there's a lot of illegal firearms that are committing this particular crimes and even robberies around in our country. But if you're speaking of issues like Cape Town, look, Cape Town, every drugs that are delivered in Cape Town, they are delivered with a gun so that they can guard the theft. But these guns are given to juveniles, meaning the underage kids, to go and shoot one another and protect the territories. But the data of Cape Town, like we always say, there's only 5 in the five groups of people or 5 individuals that are selling this particular drugs, because one who sells at Cape Flats doesn't go and sell at Long Street in town. So we said to them that, you know what, the police, they need to activate the POCA Act because it's an organized crime. Go after these people. They cannot benefit from proceedings of crimes and drug issues, and yet they're still living large. They've got properties, they've got houses, and they keep on bringing this particular guy. So it's just only 5 people that are well known in Cape Town that are controlling Cape Town, and we don't know why at this stage those people are not apprehended. It goes as far as even here in Westbury, your Eastress, your likes of down in Soweto, which is Protea and that surrounding area, Lenasia, where they've got control on who must guard the territories. They bring up these guns, and these boys, they shoot one another on daily basis. And we said rather bring the military to apprehend them, because innocent people are in the crossfire of these people, and also it will affect the tourist industry as well.
You touched on intelligence a little bit earlier on. Where are our detectives? Do we have, specialized spaces where we know that they are forecasting something, they're looking at specific areas? If it is known, to you as obvious as that, what is happening with our detective space?
Yeah, look, when you speak of a detectives, they are driven, like we say, the intelligence collects the information, they collect the data. So with a detective, they deal on the aftermath of the crime. So the detective, a crime has to happen, then they run, like I call our Minister of Police, I call him an ambulance, because he only runs at the scene on the aftermath, after the crime has happened. But the intelligence, they gather the information, then they come back, they give it to the detective hand in hand, so that the crime doesn't even come into action. But once you deal with crimes that have already have been committed and people have lost their life, then you bring up the detectives. But also with that space of detectives, they are lacking resources, and also again they don't have the support structure with the justice system at courts. These things of the brown envelopes that is being said every time that there's brown envelopes in court. Indeed, there are brown envelopes and backlogs of DNA. I mean, we were promised that the DNA backlogs, it will be sorted at the end of January, but no word as of now. So it shows that we're still on a backlog of DNA. So the detectives, they are under-resourced, but most of the time their information is driven by intelligence.
And that's just it. You speak of brown envelopes, but happening at almost every tier of this problem, right? So even, and I mean, as South Africans also have to be honest with ourselves, because it's now become famous that you have money for a cold drink or whatever, but that happens, right? So even if you're trying to get out of a traffic fine or trying to get out of something as serious as murder, what then do you do when you don't have people of integrity that are tasked with taking care of the communities?
Look, we always speak of Ubuntu, and people that are tasked to serve, they must do the proper job, and they must serve with dignity and integrity and honesty. So I suggest that the courts also, the justice system, the officials, they need to constantly go on a lifestyle audit, because we cannot accept corruption at courts where now people, they are seeking justice. Imagine my kids today is being raped, and then tomorrow I must worship somebody because he paid a certain bribe or he's worth X amount of money. It's unacceptable. So the integrity, the people must know that Batupele comes first, and they need to serve with integrity, and corruption must fall off, and officials need to go on lifestyle auditing. But at the same time, our leaders, they need to bring up good resources for our detective. Or if they don't know how to structure that, they must do certain imbizos where they bring business communities or business forums so that they can support and pump money into this particular resources that the detectives, they don't have to share one car to go and fetch the DNA. Another one has to go to court. Another one has to go and collect cell phone records. They are working even under stress, and the morale of that, it kills the police system as well.
Well, the Premier of Gauteng, Mr. Panyaza Lesufi, making it known that he is intending to add more capacity, more so young people. Will this go anyway in plugging the gap, essentially?
Yeah, I think it can, but that will just be like a visible policing. It's more like when you say, let me add more blue light vehicles, marked vehicles parked at every street corner. But you need intelligence driven. You need to know what you are dealing with. Who are the people committing these crimes? What are they planning? That's what we call covert operations. Like in the townships, there used to be houses of covert operators, crime intelligence, which will know that who in the township is committing this particular crime, cash in transit, who are in the townships are committing illegal mining. That is intelligence driven. And with that, then we're going somewhere. But visible policing, putting up cameras, I mean, we see crimes every now and then, even in under the cameras that have been put up in our streets.
So I guess let's go back to the beginning in answering the question. Are we on the verge of becoming, right up there on the list of crime capitals of the world?
Yes, we are, because of there is no political will as well. Like we said, if you take the example of Cape Town, there are only 5 people who are controlling Cape Town, and even as far as the route of transporting drugs and even illicit cigarette, and they control the territory. They give guns to this minor kids who are juvenile and underage. But where are they now? They are still worshipped.
Calvin Rafadi is a forensic investigator and crime expert at Biz Tracers. Thank you very much. Still to come, we'll